All right, everybody, how you doing? It's Mikey Wine here. You guys know me as Gundam Morning Works, and we're live again. And I just squeaked in the door a minute ago, so we're starting just a couple minutes later than I like. But hey, that's why I set the new go time because that way I can make sure the show doesn't get canceled. So it might take a second for some people to get in here, expecting me to start at 6:30. It's about 6:05 right now, and Nigel. He's got two comments in the chat already, so he's the winner today for first arrival. Anyway, we'll start. We'll just give some people a few seconds here. I might actually send a message to some people saying we're live, and we'll see who pops in. Anybody jumps in as my computer that just restarted is going through its motions. So yeah, oh, we got two on now. Cool, we got two guys in. So I may not have to send a message here. Let's see. Yeah, we're live. Okay, we are live. Yep. So anyway, who's in the chat? Anybody jump in? Who's in the chat? Oh, they jumped right back out again. So whoever was watching is gone now. So happy Hump Day, happy Wednesday, and as the saying goes, the more things change, the more they stay the same. I was talking about schedule changes and stuff with my job, my new job, and as it turns out, I may end up having to change schedules again, which is going to really change the broadcast schedule a lot. So whoever's watching, put your name in the chat. Let me know you're here. But I might go into it a little bit depending on who's here. Not everybody knows, not even I know what's going to happen until probably tomorrow. What up, Nick and Nigel? Hey, gonna be a bit late. Still out about getting stuff, right? No problem, Nigel. Thanks for chiming in. Anyway, Nick. So my schedule might be changing again, and it's going to be much later now. So I don't know when I'm gonna be, if it changes. Like I said, I won't know until tomorrow, and I'm early. Yeah, well, I'm early only because I set the time up later so I could make sure the show doesn't get canceled. See, I think I explained this before. StreamYard will let you start early, no matter what your start time is. You can start early as you want. But if you're more than 10 minutes late, it will cancel the live stream. So in order for me to make sure I get in, even if it's a little after 6, I won't cancel the show. I set it for 6:30. So that gives me enough time with bad traffic to get home. But that may end up changing again. So we shall see. We've got a guy that is going out on medical for a long, undetermined amount of time. So they might have me taking over his crew, and if that happens, then I'll be starting work at 10 a.m. in the morning and working till 6 o'clock in the evening, which means I wouldn't even get home until 7 o'clock Eastern or Pacific, 10 maybe after 7. I'm not even sure yet. So that remains to be seen. We'll see tomorrow. I may find out tomorrow. So I'll try to get everybody in the loop. I might make a post on my Facebook page or something like that. But anyway, let's get started here. So let's go down. A quick look down. I haven't done a whole lot, but I did start cutting these seatbelts off. I finished painting all the seatbelts. There's some of them are still on the little photo etch screws here, so I will start cutting those out. But I did finish one seat, at least one of the seats. Well, it's just my phone going off here. Let me make sure that's on vibrate so it doesn't keep disturbing us here. Actually, there we go. Okay. So, like I said, I finished one of the seats. I'll show you. My computer buffering all the time. Haven't that in a while. I really need to clear out cache, but I might have. Let's go down to the close up here. I'll show you the seat. So finished one of the seat, and this has lap belts as well as shoulder straps, like a point type harness. You can see, there we go. Going to see the, trying to get it down where you can see it. There we go. So there's this belt. I got the lap belts there. I think they came out quite nice, and they got the little slats in the sides of the, just below the headrest, so I can fold in and give them even get them all laid in there, and then I got it, laid two across the bottom. I did find out that I need to do the lap belts first because it just makes it easier to lay the other ones on top. So yeah, I'll be doing it a little bit differently. When I did this one, I did the shoulder straps first, but then they were kind of in the way when I was trying to tuck the other ones underneath. So next says even later now. I'll be sleeping. Yeah, I know. I'm sorry to say that might happen. I don't even know if I'll even have a live stream at that point. If I do, it will be later, and it'll be in direct competition with our good friend Tim Harkins doing his Wednesday night. So even if I started to even if I got home at 7, I don't know what the traffic's going to be like at that time of night. So it could take me an hour. I might get home at 7. I might get even later. I don't know. I'll have to find out. But first, I got to find out if it's even going to happen yet. And they didn't tell me today. We talked about a little bit briefly, but no one's confirmed anything yet. So I'm just waiting to find out. And I'll probably find out, like I said, I'll probably find out tomorrow. So I really only have to do, getting back to the model here, I really only have to do 2 more seats because the pilot seat and the 2 in the back row. So you got the pilot seat up here, and then there's 2 seats here, which will have 1 passenger on the left-hand side, the side closest to you. And then there's 2 more seats up here, but those will be empty. So those are the only, I want those 3 with belts, and then, or those 2 with belts, and this 3rd one on this side. Like I said, the second seat on the second level will be occupied by a passenger. So I'm not going to put the seat belts on unless I can somehow manage to get them over the little figure, make them look decent enough. I might try that. We'll see if I can bend them in place and do that. So I'm just going to finish these 2 seats, and then I have all these the little jump seats too. I got 4 jump seats here that also get seat belts, and those will be in the back. So those are going to get done too, but those come later. These this first set of belts, this is 1 shoulder belt. This is the other. Yeah, there's two shoulders, and then I'm sorry. There's two of the A's, which is the shoulder belts. One of these and one of these, and both of these shorter ones are for the lap belt. So there's a clasp and a latch. They actually look differently on the ends, just for that reason. So, but anywho, let me clip off here. So I need to cut out 2 more number 20s, which are all the way over here. So these are held together with some pretty thin little gates on the photo etch, so it's not too hard to get off, but only on the ends, the back side of the belt, that's actually going to be I think tucked in. Well, no, it won't be the part tucked in, but only the back side, the bottom edge is where it really gets there's a larger gate there. So I'm just going to basically trim off. There's a little tiny gate in between each of the buckles here too, so I'm going to carefully cut those off as well. And they cut really easily because they're super small, but the one in the back, like I said, that's a little bit more stout. So this one here is also pretty thin, and then I've got 2 larger ones here. So I'm just going to hold this down so it doesn't go flying once I cut through it. Also, having done that one seat, I figured out, the bending point of where to actually bend. This thing is hanging on by a thread. I don't know what it's hanging on by. Come on, get out of there. What the hell? It's like a piece of hair or something. Okay. All right, so I'm going to do those. I'm going to bend those first, and that way I don't confuse which ones go where. So these 2 are going to be, actually, I probably should have done the lap belt first. So let me slide this aside so I don't lose them. I'll just flip these over. Okay. Get this out of the way. Get this out of the way. Okay. Now the other two is a 21 or a 19 and a 21. So one of each of those, and they're both the same length. It's just the buckle end is slightly different, and so they're just made to cross on the seat, but they also overhang the edge of the seat a little bit too. So again, I'm just going to trim out this little tiny gate that's on in between, and then there's only one large one at this end. And the nice part about this is they, no matter how, if you don't bend them straight, that's okay, because when they're folded over, it looks natural when they're not perfectly lined up, because a belt would just lay kind of on itself and it wouldn't be perfectly folded in half. So even no matter how hard I try with my little bender here, I can't get it perfectly straight. And that's totally perfect. That's totally fine. So, all right, I got one of the 19s. I need a 21 for the other side. And the 21, yeah, has the. So let me cut off. And I really have not. I mean, as you can tell, I haven't been able to really work on this much. The new job has just been really occupying a lot of the time, and then some days too when I get home, I'm just exhausted from all the day's mental gymnastics with all the new work, things I'm trying. What's up, Giovanni? With all the new stuff I'm trying to learn and apply to the job, but yeah, my friend, who is the other manager for the night shift, the third shift, the night crew, he's going out on medical. He's got something going on. They can't figure out what's wrong with him yet. So it appears at this point that I'm going to have to take over his crew. But we'll know, like I said, we'll know more tomorrow. Let's see, Giovanni. Is the start time 1800 or 1830? Okay. Yes. The answer is yes. Okay, here's what I'm trying to do. StreamYard, okay, will allow you, when I create the live stream, I have to set a start time. StreamYard will allow you to start early. You can start as early as you want. Actually, it might even be YouTube, I think, will allow you to start early, as early as you want. But if you're more than 10 minutes late, it will cancel the live stream. So I set the start time for 6:30 Pacific time, 18:30 according to your comment here. Only so in case I get in a little bit late, I can still start the live stream a little after 6 or whatever, and not be canceled. So that's why. So you are correct. Yes, it is. It's actually both. I'm going to start as early as I can once I do get home, and in most cases it'll be before 6:30 Pacific time. It's just I don't know how bad the traffic's going to be until I go to leave that day. So the only reason for me pushing the time back was just so the show doesn't get canceled before I even get started. So, all right, first off, we're going to bend. Now these I have to flip over on their back, and then I got to tuck it in. Oops. And it flipped over on me again. You got to put them face down because I got to put the bend about halfway up. I've still got to leave a little bit of room for the bend that goes over the edge of the seat, because basically you got the bottom of the seat, so the belt's going to lay across, and then they go over the side a little bit, and I'll put that bend in there with a little bit of glue, and that's where I'll glue it, so it'll look like the seat belt. Like if I think this is my front seat. I want to be careful I don't mix them up. No, I think that's my front seat right there. Nope, maybe not. Maybe this one is. Okay. So what I'm doing is, and I'm going to see if I can hold this without it flying out of my hands here. So basically the seat belt is going to go across the lap, but then it's going to lip over the edge here on each side with each belt. So one side will go over the one side, one will go over the other. And then it'll look like it's kind of anchored into the seat. That's the purpose of it. So I'm just starting with a 90-degree bend. I could go a little bit further, but basically it's going to be bent like that. And then I'll just take my hand and finish the bend. Now I do want to pinch this a little bit. I think it's supposed to bend there. It's supposed to bend, yeah, on the longer side. Yeah, I got it. Okay. So I'm only going to take my pliers just to crimp that end so it lays down flat. And then I'll take the other end, the open end, and I'm going to put a 90-degree bend in this, and that is where it's going to lift over the seat a little bit. And I can do that just by hand. Okay, so I got this. Oops, no, I didn't go the wrong way. No, I got it. Okay. What's up, George? So just to give you a heads up, George, the start time for the show is going to be whenever I can get home. So I set it up for 6:30, Pacific time, but it's realistically I get in about just right at 6 or a little bit after 6, depending on how bad traffic is. And I also found out the other day that my schedule may be changing yet again. So there's a possibility the live stream may not happen at all if I do go to a night shift. But we'll find out. Maybe tomorrow. I hope it doesn't. We'll see. I think it's going to. I'm almost 100% sure it's going to, because my friend who runs the night crew third shift, he has had a emergency medical situation, and whoa, that just went flying. Make sure I don't lose that. So he is going out on medical for an indefinite amount of time, and it looks like I am going to have to take over his crew. All right, so I forgot one more bend here. I got to take the end of this belt and just put a 90-degree bend, and this is what lips over the edge of the seat. Okay, so I got both lap belts done. Well, I say night shift, but it's managing the night crew. I would be working like a 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. shift. So I'm an hour away from home, minimum. So even if I got out at 6 and I had no traffic, I would be here, after 7 or at 7. Yeah, we don't know what's wrong with him yet. He's trying to get into a specialist right now, so we can figure out what's going on with him. It's not fun. So I would have to go there at 10 and basically get all the work ready for the crew that does the overnight shift. Give them their jobs, send them on their way. Some of the guys are mobile service, so they leave and go out into the field. So it's basically managing that crew, getting them all set up for their day, and turning them loose, and then come home. So I used to watch him walk in at about 11 or so when he was still working at the time. But anyway. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to lay this first one across. Let's see. in order to do this the way they're showing it, I need this one. Oh, this one first. And there's no rhyme or reason to this. These can lay in any direction really, because they're belts, so they're not going to be perfectly. Not going to lay in a straight line. Not going to be totally perfect. But what I'm basically doing is just I got a little spot of glue on there, and I'm going to glue it down. Let that let that dry just for a second. And there's a little bit hanging over the other side of the seat. So then when this is dry, I will just take that and bend it down so it looks like it's hanging over the edge of the other side of the seat. Oops. Gosh darn it, stuck to my finger and came off. So let's do this again. I'm basically just putting a little, dipping that end of the seat belt that is lipped over the edge of the seat. I'm dipping that in the glue so that will hold it in place. Just got to give it a little more time to dry. I tried moving it a little too soon. How am I liking the new job? It's good. However, I will say that, and I've heard this term from managers there. They're like, welcome to the world of ambiguity, because the more things change, the more they say everything changes very rapidly. They could say one thing one day and it changes. Like, I was trying to get, and I told them the other day when we talked about this possibility of me taking over a different shift. I just said, I feel like I'm just getting my feet underneath me. I'm just starting to get my legs. I got some momentum going here. I want to keep it going. And I initially refused when they asked me about doing the night crew. I basically said, no, I'm good. I think I want to stay where I'm at. But then, the same part of me says, I got to be a team player. I'm new with the company. I want to be accessible and flexible. So I said, if you need me to do it, that's fine. So we'll see what happens. But I'm still learning. There's, the other managers have been there for 5 years. I mean, they're on the ball. There's a reason why they're so good at what they do. And they're not expecting that out of me on the first 30 days. I mean, I've only been with the company a month. So, and most of that, the first week of that was actually just onboarding. All right, so now we're going to put the second lap belt on. And I'm going to just do the same thing. I'm going to dip the end where I bent that little lip in there. I'm going to actually might give this a little bit different angle. I think I'm going to different. I'm going to my camera's on every so often. I think I'm going to have to clear out my cache again. It only does that when it's after a few weeks of doing this. Kind of gives me a little bit of grief. So I'm gonna bend this at a different angle. Wait, I think I gotta go this way. So I want this to bend at a different angle so I can glue this down, and it's gonna lay more toward the front, kind of a little more natural seatbelt orientation. So I'm just gonna place this down. Almost had it. Stuck to my finger. I was trying to hold it, and it ends up sticking to my finger. All right, there we go. Burst of speed. Burst of what? Speed up. Mike is. What's up, Julius? How you doing, man? Oops, sorry I'm late. No, you're not. It's the start time is going to be somewhere anywhere between 6 and 6:30. So because of the new job, it's taking me longer to get home. So I have to start. I have to set the time slightly later because it's either StreamYard or it's YouTube. But one of the two, you can start early as you want. But if you start more than 10 minutes late, it'll cancel your live stream. So I set it up at 6:30 on purpose in case I do end up running late. At least I can get in, after 6, slightly after 6. So I got here about 10 minutes till 6, and then I had to, do the basic things like change clothes, go to the bathroom. It's 1 hour commute. That's probably, yeah, it's at least an hour. It took me an hour and 45 to get home today. So I was only talking about an hour maybe with the new schedule. I don't know what the drive time is going to be at that time of night. And I'm hoping it's not terribly late, but it might be. I don't know. All right, so I got those 2 lap belts on. I'll show you that. So there's the 2 lap belts. Okay. Is there a benefit to StreamYard? You only use YouTube? No, I use StreamYard is broadcasting on 3 platforms. I'm hitting YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch all at the same time. That's what I pay for. Now I could pay for more and get up to 4 or 5 streaming locations, but right now it's just the 3 because I don't want to pay any more. I just pay for the year. I save money by paying up front, but yeah, it's not just YouTube. I would use YouTube alone if that was the only case, but like I said, I'm broadcasting in 3 locations right now. All right, so these are, oops, I gotta loosen this up. So these are the shoulder belts, and having done the first seat, I learned my lesson on where to bend these at. I have to put them face down because they fold. Because they fold against one another here. So I gotta fold it. Let's see, yeah, it folds it on. Yeah, that's the buckle, but I gotta be close to the buckle, but have enough space to fold another little hook because that's the shoulder part that goes into that slot on the seat. What's up, Andy? Got it, thanks. Yeah, no problem. Good evening. How the man doing? I'm doing all right. Trying to figure out, maybe find out next week, or maybe even tomorrow, if my schedule is going to change again, which is going to drastically alter the streaming schedule. It may be gone at all. I don't know, because when I started doing live streams, I started it on the weekends, and of course that just interfered with family time, and it didn't work so much with my wife and I. So I switched it up to Wednesday nights, so middle of the week, a little bit easier to do. Didn't interfere with the weekend stuff, and especially now that I have every weekend off. But so what I'm doing here is let's see if I can even show you this. It's going to be kind of hard to see. So I've got the lap belt the shoulder belt folded in half, and you can see how I did like a little hook, because that hook is going to go in under that shoulder, or excuse me, under that headrest. So if you look at the headrest under my thumb there, you can see there's a little slot on either side of it, and that's where those belts go. So I put that little hook in there so it fits right in that groove. It's a good little spot to glue it down to. So I'm going to do that one first, and that is, well, those are both the same. So it doesn't matter which side I do first. And of course, these can lay in any shape or form too, because again, they're seat belts, so they're not going to always be exactly the same. So if I can get this in there. I took my chisel when I did these seats. I took my like a really thin chisel that fit, and I chiseled out the little. It was like a almost like some flash, from the mold that's in between that little groove, and I chiseled out that little slot. So now it's a perfect spot for the seat belt. It fits. I mean, yeah, it fits right in there. So once I get this in, right about there. See, I know where to bend it at now, because the first one, oops, I scratched off the paint. I want to touch that up. I think I have extras of these. I can always just take another one off if I need to. So I was saying I found out where to bend them at. After doing the first one, I realized I didn't do it just right. So I know now how much I need. So I get that perfect length. Photo etch bending, yes I am. I am photo etch bending seat belts, little tiny things. That's why I've got my magnifiers on, because they're so small. So I'm going to do the second of the shoulder belts here. Once I get the glue, that little tab, I'm going to stuff it in the slot. I'll get it in there. Yeah. All right, I gotta reposition it. Oh, come on. Okay, and then once they're glued on there, I just press them down so that gives them that natural kind of a bend. So here we go. And brother, looking forward to a goof suitcase showcase video we talked about. Oh, gosh, I have to go back. I'd have to revisit that conversation. I don't even remember. So now I've got the two shoulder belts there, you can see, and the lap belts, which go across. So it's like kind of like a 5-point harness. So that's the two seats done now. I just need to do one more, because like I said, I got some figures that are going to be sitting in the other ones. So if I realize I get to the point where I don't need to, if I can put the seat belts over the figures that are in there, I'll include them, and so they look like they're sitting down in them. But I'm not sure if these metal strips that make these seat belts are long enough to go over the figure, over the shoulders of one of the figures in there. So we'll see. Looking forward to goof. Remind me what you were talking about, Andrew. And I'm sorry. I've had so much happen in the last year. And I'm just going to say I'm old and I don't remember shit. So I caught somebody's seatbelt. So let's see, 19 and a 21. Let's see here. Gate that connects them together, but then I really tiny. There's really not much holding them in. All right. So I got both of those. Lap belts off. First one. This seat here. Does my camera keep going in and out, guys, or is it staying there? Not as old as you, though, George. And I still have my hair, baldy locks. Then again, look who's talking. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. There's a reason the camera is pointed down at the table and not at my face. Anyway, try to keep that to a minimum. All right. So now I'm going to bend these lap belts here. I'm going to flip it over on its back. Let's see here. Yeah, right about there. Check your last few stream, George. One of them. What do you? Oh, every time Tim starts a stream saying, "Hey, kids," I reply by saying, "Hey, old man." That's funny. Yeah, he's saying, "Hey, kids," like he's really old. The rest of us are older than he is. Yeah, these are tiny. I'm really trying to be careful here, and I keep saying that and knock on wood, right? But because these things are, it's like they're so small, if they flick out of my fingers, it's just going to go into the ether and be gone. So do another little bend on the end here where this is going to sit over the edge of the seat. And then again, I'm going to give it a little dab of glue. So I can set that down and let it dry. Yeah, the old classic joke, you have a face for radio. Yep. Got that right. All right. Now, oh, gosh. Almost knocked my glasses off. These eye adjusters, the ones that I have that are really high magnification, they don't have the longest arms, so they don't reach, they don't go over my ears as far as I probably would like them to. So sometimes they slip down when I'm, especially in the summertime, if I'm a little warm, you know. They'll slip down my face while I'm trying to do something tedious like this. Okay, there we go. Just give that one a little twist. Because again, these don't have to lay straight. They have, you know, they look like belts. They're going to just lay like fabric belts. They'll lay kind of naturally in an angle. Let's see, I need to go that direction, so I'm going to bend this way. I'm trying to bend that little tab at the end so it will lay at an angle, a natural angle. Let me see here. I got to get a little bit of glue on that strap there. I think I got it. There we go. All right. Just gonna tuck this in. There we go. Give that just a second to set up, and then I can bend the ends of this over, like the buckle. I can have that hanging over the side of the seat as well. And I did use I used promotion adhesion promoter on these, so the paint is really sticking very well. I'm noticing that when I bend these and manipulate them, they're not scratching very easily or chipping any paint very easily. Oh gosh, sorry guys, I missed the Baldy logs, huh? Yeah. You like that? Yeah, there was a guy I used to work with a long time ago, and he was kind of receding balding almost, and he used to call himself that all the time. So I just laughed. I thought that was a good one. One of my favorites. My LED light went out for some damn reason. Uh-oh. Is it the power surge inside the truck? Uh-oh. Using a head strap lamp. Works. Yeah. I have one of those too. I have a couple of them that I have them both at home now. I bought a set from Amazon. It was like these guys right here. It's like a headband. It's flexible LEDs, and it's got a spotlight on the side, a couple of different brightness settings. And I had two of them, one at home and one at work. But now that I don't work on cars anymore, I don't really need it. So I have it here. I have them both here now. Right. So now I need to cut out the shoulder belts for this one. We're almost done. Then I can start doing the jump seats, because I painted all the belts for every single seat. So it's just a matter of doing all the little gluing this stuff on. Oh, this is exactly what you got, Mike. Yeah, and they work pretty well. Although I will say, the one I used at work, because I used it a lot. This one I use at home, but I don't use it very often. But eventually you'll start to see, especially when you're seeing a reflection. If you're looking straight at a mirror, you probably won't see it because it's so bright. But if you get a reflection, you'll start to see LEDs that go out. The rest of them will be lit, but you'll have little spots that are. That's the only thing I didn't like about it. It was, it was cheap. It was like for two of them. I can't remember what it paid, but it's like, So I just need two of these. Almost done. All right. Whoops. Oh, I forgot to clip off the other side. Okay, there we go. Now I got the two shoulder belts cut out. Make sure my slots were there nice and good. Okay. Garage won't let. What did that say? Let me hide that one. That's commitment. Yep. The only bad thing is it tends to dim down after a bit. Yeah, it only lasts. I don't even know if it'll last an hour, to be honest. When I had it on the brightest setting, I'd always have to plug it in and keep it charged up. I had to kind of anticipate, like, how long is it going to last, and then if it was the end of the day, I could plug it in overnight. Unplug it in the morning when I got back to work. Because yeah, there's nothing sucks more when you're working on something and all of a sudden the damn thing goes out on you right in the middle of under a car or something. It's never fun. All right. So again, I got to bend these in half. George, let the trucking get in the way of the hobbies mode. Yeah. I know the schedule's going to change. I keep saying I hope it doesn't, but all the signs are pointing in that direction. As soon as they get manager approval, it'll go through, and I'll end up. It shouldn't be permanent, and I really hope it isn't. But for the foreseeable future, I will probably have to work that shift. All right, so I got one bent here. I think I'll just do the other one at it. That way they'll both be ready to glue. Oops, this is the wrong way. Sorry. I'm going to flip that around. You guys are probably hearing my neighbor coughing and hacking. This guy smokes. Oh, shoot. The wrong side? No, it's right there. This guy smokes so much weed. I don't know. I think it's a medical thing. I don't know. But man, he just constantly hacking. Did I do that? No, I didn't. I think, yeah, I did it right. Okay. What's up? How's the new job getting the hang of things? Okay. Yeah, that's what I've just been talking about. The job's going good. I mean, I really like it. Thing is, one of my friends just he's going to go out on medical. He's the one that runs the crew that does the night. The mobile guy. He's the one that runs the crew of Amazon trucks. Amazon has a contract with Rivian for their delivery vans, and so most of the vans are available at night for repairs because obviously Amazon's not running at night. Did I bend this one on the wrong side? I might have. Hang on, I gotta see if I did this one wrong. Yes, I did. All right, well, that's one down. Good thing I got extras. To say that for later. I just bent that on the wrong side of the buckle, so I gotta do another one here. Anyway, he's had a pretty serious medical problem come up. They don't know what's wrong with him yet, and I've basically been volunteered to take over his crew. So if that happens, I will be working a different shift and starting work quite a bit later, which means I'll be getting home quite a bit later, which means I may not be able to do the live stream for the foreseeable future, unless I do it on a weekend. And I've already tried that and just got in the way of family, balance, that kind of thing. So what's that say? You guys deal with Creek career? What are you talking about? Maybe you should suggest snorting coke instead. Healthier. Oh, jeez. Yeah, sure, George. You guys deal with. I'm not sure what that's supposed to mean. Giovanni says because my face for radio. That's why I don't do any kind of streaming video equipment, but I don't want to be in front of the camera. Yeah, I understand that. It takes a little bit of getting used to talking, out of the lens, knowing that people are on the other side of it, but you're not seeing them directly in front of you. It's a little bit to get used to. It gets easier though. Okay, there we go. Now I gotta. Yeah, that's better. All right. Now that I got this one bent correctly, let me give it a little twist so the buckle comes out from behind it. I'm going to put my little hook on the end here. So that will sit into the seat nicely. Okay, now we're ready for gluing. Crete is a shipping company. Oh. Okay, I didn't know what that is. Yeah, anyway, Amazon has the EDBs, but the contract has already run its course with them, so we can, they can actually sell those to regular shipping companies now too. Before it was they just had to be Amazon, but so they've got a crew that runs at night, works at night, so they can do the repairs during hours of operation that the Amazon trucks don't need to be available. And so I would be working, if this goes through, I'll be working from 10 to 6 in the evening, which is when I usually start. When I used to start my live stream was at 6 o'clock, but now it would appear that is going to have to change. Okay, so let me just get this in the slot. There we go. And once that's glued, then once it's dry enough, then I'll bend it down into place. Just basically shoving that seat belt into that slot under the headrest. I've said that a couple times already, but and then I'll push down on the belt and give it a natural sag to it, so it looks like it's laying down nicely. There we go. All right. So, come on, focus. Focus. There we go. So there's a seat. Got lap belts and shoulder straps. They look quite nice. Okay, so that's 3 of those. I don't need to do any more. If I do, I will tackle those later. For the time being, I think I'm good on those. Now I've got to do the jump seats. So I'm going to wipe up most of my glue here because I'm going to have to flip this page over. This is the seat belts for the jump seats now. Drive for them. Maybe one day I swing by and I can see it. Now, drive for who? I'm not driving for Amazon. I'm talking about delivery vans, electric vans, not big trucks. These are full electric, either 700 or 500 cubic feet capacity, storage capacity delivery vans, all electric front wheel drives that Rivian produces. But basically my job would be to go in, set up the night crew with all the work they need for the night, turn them loose, and let them go out into the field, because some of them do all the stuff mobile. Other ones work at the service center that are there for bigger jobs that they can't do in the field. But the smaller stuff they can take care of out in the field. That's what they do. So, all right. So I got 8 of those and 4 of those and 4 of those. So it's going to be kind of the same thing. 2 shoulder belts and 2 lap belts. And since I have all the seats open on these, basically with the seat down, I can lay those seat belts across. Gosh, it looks like, yeah, they'll kind of lay not quite in the middle, but these are a little bit harder to handle. But anyway, I got to pull them off. I painted them on these my little stick tape here. Stick. So now I can cut the belts out and glue them all down. I'm fixing a broken fin on a very old kit. Ugh, that sounds like fun. If you do it right, you shouldn't even see it. Well, you drive for them. Oh, okay. You drive for them. I thought you were saying drive for them. Okay, never. I didn't see the word I in front of it. Sorry about that. Maybe I'll swing by the. Yeah, maybe. I mean, I'm in the Rivian Service Center, so I'm not. You wouldn't be able to drive in unless you're delivering something to the service center in Seattle. But that would be the only time. You'd have to message me if you were just randomly showing up one day. Okay, so the shoulder belts are 22s, which are these guys. They're probably the same length. I don't think they're any longer. They might be slightly longer than the ones on the other belt. Let me see here. Just out of curiosity. Each one of these is, let me do it in millimeters. So we're talking about say 19 millimeters maybe, and then these are actually longer. So the seats, the belts for the front seats are actually slightly longer, the shoulder belts. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to do all the lap belts first, and those are 23 and 24, which is going to be on this other sheet. Yep, so I got to do 4 of each. It looks like they gave me 5 of each, so just in case I screw one up, I've got extras. So I'm going to actually just clip off 4 of these. I can separate them all when I have them on when I get it on the cutting board here. Leave the extra one there in case like I said, in case I screw it up. Got this tiny little gate in between each buckle. Little tiny piece to cut off. All right, now I can just clip the 4 of them. All right, there's 4. Move those aside. And now I need 4 of the 24s. Old kits are the best kits. Yeah, whatever, George. I know you like tinkering on that kind of stuff. I don't mind it too, but I think doing it once in a while. I think I'd get burnt out doing old vintage kits all the time. I guess that's not saying that you're doing the same. I think you're doing it occasionally too, but I think you do a lot more than most of us do. That's cool. It's easy to get spoiled by the technology of a modern kit, Cut these out here. There we go. That's 4 of those. So now I'm going to bend all these. And so it takes so long as doing all this little bend work. Let's see. When it comes together effortlessly, it looks good out of the box. It's basically a puzzle and nothing else. Yeah. There's so many facets to this hobby. None is wrong. And that is true too. That is absolutely true, you guys. Okay, so we're up on 7. Got a little more time left. Let's see. I gotta bend these on the clasp side. So it looks kind of similar to what I've been doing. It's actually exactly the same. So actually, with these glasses I was talking about, I'm kind of slipping off my face. I did buy, I bought some little hooks, little rubber hooks that you can put on the ends. It kind of extends the arms a little bit, so go over your ears. I can use those, I suppose. Gosh darn it, this thing keeps flipping on me. But they're just harder to get on because you got to kind of lip them up over your ear. But they do stay in place, that is for sure. A lot better than they are, because like I said, if I get a little sweaty or something like that, or just if it's warm, like it's starting to warm up, as I'm sitting here with my head down staring at the bench, all of a sudden I just start sliding off my face. That's the only drawback to these. I wish they had longer arms because they were not cheap. That's just Micromark for you. Nothing's cheap on Micromark. Okay, so there's one. I gotta do one of each. Uh-oh. Oh, there's one. Shoo! Must have stuck to me. I lost one for a second. Okay, make sure I don't lose any more now. Yeah, see, I'm just sitting here and my glasses are sliding off. Because they just don't go over my ears as much. Okay, so I gotta put this underneath and kind of bend it the same way. I think I'm in the market. I might have to get a new photo etch bender. This thing has been great. Don't get me wrong. But it's limited, you know, and I only got it because originally the photo etch I was doing was just basically like a Valkyrie or something, something simple. I didn't need all the complex angles and stuff. But now that I'm doing more photo etch kind of like this, it might be nice to have a larger one, especially when doing, you know, this bending this thing was insane, trying to get 3 layers of photo etch to bend and then stay down when you glued it and everything like that. So this is the interior. It's ready to go, but I am going to end up probably gluing this place. I was going to put the floor in after having this installed, you know, slide the floor in place, but that's not going to be possible, I think, because it's just, in order for it to fit right, it's supposed to be glued in just like this. So I'm going to slowly tack it down as I go, you know, to get it in place. But all the seats and everything will have to be installed first, and then it's going to have to go in. So it's going to be a challenging little assembly step when I get there. Right now I've got the cockpit console for the pilot. I don't have the control arm. There's 2 control levers that come in from behind him and go forward in the seat. That's these little guys right here. You can see the angle. They come off the floor, go forward, and then up. And there's a little handle on the inside. So once I get the pilot in place where his feet, you know, I'm going to glue the pilot in the seat. Then I can place the seat so his feet are on the pedals properly, and then I'll know the distance to glue the handles in place. So it's going to be like a 3-step process just to get the pilot in place. All right, so now let's glue this lap belt in. Lap belts. Sorry, I'm missing comments here. I apologize. Let me, let's see here. Essence is getting lost in rotor to please everyone. What are we talking about? What do I miss? When it comes to okay, true order. Oh, okay. It's lost in order. In order to please everyone. No more critics. Nobody loses anymore. Everybody's a winner. That's why the passion is lost now for days. Nowadays, yeah. Yeah, you gotta be worried about everybody's feelings. We got a new member join IPMS chapter meeting. And he hates construction but loves painting. His work is fabulous. Traditional builder. Mostly World War II planes. Yeah, that's tough. Those are tough. But he hates the building part, I can imagine. Planes aren't easy to get right, especially when you got to get the wings perfectly straight and the landing gears got to be right. Otherwise, they don't sit right. Now, painting is another awesome aspect if done right. Yep. One of my favorite modelers, a woman from Vermont. Her mini painting is a completely different level. Very cool. Yeah, I don't mind doing minis either, but not all the time. I think that would be another thing. As I get older, my eyes don't work the way they used to. I just can't do it. Can't do it. I mean, I do it. That's why I have these things. I mean, these are the adjusters. You see these knobs, the little knobs at each end, and the lenses move in between. So you can see them moving in and out. They kind of, you turn them, the lenses move in and out. That's what changes the magnification. All right. So now we're going to put a seatbelt down. So the E, I guess if I'm following this, I don't think it really matters all that much. Oh, shoot. I forgot I got to bend those on the ends. Oh, no, I don't. I can just lay them across. That's right. Okay. But I do need some glue. If I'm going to glue these, I need glue. I really like this VMS stuff. It really works well. And they've got a lot of different kinds for different applications. I got black. This is the black thin CA, and then I got some for resin. I've got a slow curing CA, and then I've got the powder, and I got the glue remover, and the powder for filling in gaps, stuff like that. So yeah, it's good stuff. So I'm just going to lay these down. Now I may have to go back over these. I try not to get too much glue on these. But if I do get a little bit of, if it bleeds out a little bit, I can just go back over it and throw down some, my flat coat, and that glue will disappear. VMS makes excellent top coats. Really? Top coats, huh? Oops. Yeah, I knew they do paints, I guess. I only started using this because of Nigel. Nigel's the one that kind of turned me on to the glues and stuff, because especially for photo etch, I do enough of it now that I needed some really good stuff, especially like this little bottle of, see, that's the metal prep. I've got that, but this is the powder, the CA glue filler. That's amazing stuff. And then I've never had this either. This is the debonder, and this is in case you get a little bit too much glue on there, you can go with some debonder and wipe it away, and the excess CA glue will come right off. I could have used that when I did the SDF-1 all those years ago, because boy did I make a mess of that. I mean, it was a lot of photo etch on that too. But wait a minute, I thought I had 2 seat belts. Wait, did I do it wrong? Oh, no, that's right. I haven't even cut out that's right. Those are the lap belts. I haven't even cut the other ones out yet. So maybe I should do all the lap belts first. Why not? Let's do it that way. Okay. And then I'll cut out the shoulder belts. It's just easier. That way I don't have that many pieces of photo etch laying around, because this stuff's so small. I can sneeze and just scatter everything. Definitely don't want that. All right. So again, I'm just going to bend these in half. Top coats, huh? Yeah. I'm really liking the guy notes top coats. I've been kind of hooked on those. I haven't even used Mr. Color top coats in a while, just because the guy note stuff is so nice. Okay, so that's one. Next thing, you need to flatten that out. Ooh, shoot, that shot. See, that's the thing. They shoot across the table. Well, you don't want that for sure. Well, I'm just going to flatten it right here then. If you're going to be a pain, there. All right, that's that buckle. I need this one on the other side. Yeah, these are tiny. All right, a little bend. Might as well just prep all these. That way they'll be ready. Make like an assembly line. Make 2 piles. Okay. How's everybody's week going so far? You guys know about mine. How about yours? What's up? Demon Log. Demon Log. How's it going? I'll give it 10 seconds. We watch. Here it comes. Hey, what's going on? Welcome in. I think anybody on the YouTube channel can see who's in the chat, who's from other locations, but it's going good. All decent. That's good. Good to know. I'm just doing some photo etch here. That's why it's kind of quiet. I'm just installing some seat belts on these jump seats for the Ornithopter. So I've got kind of an assembly line going here. I'm doing the bending part first, and then I'll glue them all in here in a second. Tiny little seat belts. Doing my best not to drop one. Okay, one more, and then I can just glue them all down, and then I'll have to cut out all of the shoulder straps. Always wanted to buy a Gundam kit, but they seem hard to build. No, which one? What are you talking about? Gundam kits are easy to build, especially the newer stuff. But if you want to start out something simple, you can get an entry grade. Those will probably be really good for if you're a beginner. But the technology and the Bandai puts into their molding process is just so amazing. The fit is usually perfect in most cases that you don't have any issues. You can snap a kit together without any glue. You don't even need glue. But if you're getting into, if you like something small, then you get into real grade, which is the RG line. Those can be a little bit tedious because it's almost like master grade technology shrunk down to 1/4 scale, and just makes it even that much more challenging because they're so tiny, but you have so many parts. All right, so let's glue some seatbelts on here. So I guess it doesn't matter which direction. No one's going to be able to really see. So I'm just going to get a little dab on the end here so I can lay this down on the seat. Oops, almost lost that one. What I have seen kids from Digimon, huh? Cool. Yeah. Who's the manufacturer of those Digimon kits you're talking about? Is it Bandai as well? George says old school Gundam kits are fun, especially the entry grade. Many of the simpler high grade. Yeah, that's true. Start small, and try it out, see if you like it first, and then you can always try something a little more complicated. But excuse me. Sorry about that, guys. I felt that coming. That time of year. I got a little bit of the end of this. I had a little bit of a nib, for lack of a better term, for a piece of photo etch. I had to cut that off. But yeah, man, allergies, they don't usually affect me all that much, but this time of year, they seem to come out of nowhere sometimes. I'll just be sitting there, and all of a sudden I have to sneeze for 10 minutes. It's ridiculous. Just darn it. I almost lost that one too. That one fell off. I got to reglue it. I was trying to position it and it wasn't cooperating. Moved on me too much. Oh my God, now it's going the other way. Come on now. Stop fighting me. All right, let that dry for a second. Thank you, George. You got a bot in your chat. Oh, is that who's the bot? The coffee feedback? Is that who the bot is? Yeah, I know. Every stream I always get at least one from Snap. I mean, Twitch. I always get spam from Twitch. That's why I was waiting. When you popped in, I was like, okay, let's see how long it takes before I'm getting a spam message. That's one thing. That's the only thing I don't like about Twitch. I mean, I tried Kick, but Kick wasn't any better. And because I could only pick 3, that's why I just went back to Twitch. Figure I'll just do Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. So I don't really care too much about at least for now, because of the most of the Twitch. Most people on Twitch are the gamers and stuff like that. So this is a little bit of more of a niche. I don't expect to get a ton of viewers from Twitch. Like, just got back home, Nigel. Just got back home. Yay. What I'm really looking into building is an army of Warhammer, but they are expensive. Yes, that is very true. But there again, you can start small. But yeah, Warhammer stuff is not cheap, and I've done a few kits, Warhammer kits, but most of the time it's been, in fact, all the time it's been commission work. I don't buy them for myself. Anytime I've ever built one, it's been because a friend of mine wanted one. So actually, the last couple of Warhammer kits that I built were either some kind of a Warhammer, one was a video game crossover from Dead Space to, and Warhammer. So the character, it was a figure of a suit of armor. It looks more like a Dead Space, the guy from Dead Space, the video game, which is kind of cool. But and then I did a Bane Blade for another friend of mine, and a Valkyrie as well for the same guy. And what else? I've done a couple, but not a lot. Dead Space is great. Yeah, it was a fun game. In fact, I downloaded it again because it popped up on the game on Xbox for my subscription, so I downloaded it again. I sure enjoyed it the first time around. You're getting buffering. Yeah, I noticed that too. I'm probably gonna have to clear my cache out again before the next live stream. So if I have another live stream, that's always the question nowadays, because the schedule might be changing it again, and we may not have a live stream. So we'll see. Okay. Anyway, I'll find out tomorrow probably. So I got to cut out 8 of these 22s. And how many of them are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, exactly 8. So I'll cut them all out. And these have to be folded in half as well. And then it looks like there's a spot to hook over each side. There's like a little lip that I think I can hook those in. So if I bend those seat belts kind of the same way I did the front seats, where there'd be a little bit of a hook that fits into a groove. All good now. Oh, that's good. Yeah, I noticed there was a couple of times when I was early on when I first started tonight. And it usually happens when the cache starts to get a little full. I only use this computer now. I have another laptop that I got for work, another company computer that I'm not obviously going to use for this. So I don't use this for anything, but really just doing the live stream every week. So, but I guess if you don't clear the cache out every now and then, it starts to slow things down a bit, and then I start getting that buffering you guys are talking about. When I started with Warhammer, I started with 1 figure, and then I did a group of 3. That's how it starts. Like that old, was it Bryan Cranston? They took a bit from one of his movies where he's like, son, once you start, there's no going back, I can't remember the exact line, but it was pretty funny. That was a penguin. These are, supposed to be a little like a gate at the end of the seatbelt here, but one of them was as wide as the whole seatbelt, so it really hard to cut out. Okay, I guess I should put this back on for now. I got to bend all these seatbelts, and we're almost out of time actually, so I'm gonna have to stop for tonight. I just realized it's almost 7:30. All right, so let's slide these aside so we don't blow those off the table accidentally, and we'll finish those later. So let me go through the list here. Everybody that came in tonight, I appreciate each and every one of you guys. As always, so Nigel cheated and he was in it. Looks like 10:30 last night, or 10, yeah, twice. But starting in first thing this afternoon, I had Nick jumping in at 6:06. Then Nigel again was on his way home. He said he'll be late. And then shortly after that, I got Giovanni. And then George, Mr. Old School. Thank you again so much, Nick. In there again. And then we had Julius shortly after that. And then Handren was, I think, the next one in after that. Mr. Hasaki Art. And then as we went down, we ended up with a couple of people from Twitch. And that would have been, I hope I'm saying this right, that was Demon, is that Demon Log? Demon Log, is that how it's pronounced? Thank you again for joining in. I appreciate you. I like it when we get some new people. And then the boss showed up. Covered feedback, best viewers, whatever. But I encourage you to try that. Try Gundam Cat Demon Log. I think you're really going to enjoy it. Don't be afraid of the technology. It just makes the assembly process so much easier. So if you do something, do an entry grade, but don't pick something really, really old. I think you'll get a little frustrated. That's just my opinion. So try something that's newer because the technology is better. It'll fit better, and you'll be much more happier with your first Gundam model experience, I think, with a Bandai kit or something like that. Damn, I missed most of the stream. Yeah, well, sorry, bud. I started actually almost on time. Let's go back up here. So I started about 6 minutes after 6. I got in about 10 minutes to 6, so I had time to put my stuff down, put some things away, change clothes, get a glass of wine, and do all that. Nice chat, folks. Yes. But yeah, so hopefully, things may change. I'll try to, make an announcement to everybody. I'll probably find out tomorrow at about 8 a.m. That's when I have a meeting scheduled with the management team. And George says, always good to see you, Mike. All the best for the new job. Hopefully, it won't impact your hobby. Yeah. Well, the problem is, if it does, it's going to affect the live stream. I'll still have my afternoons or evenings, or maybe even morning stuff. I don't know, before I go to work. But I'm just concerned about the drive in. I leave pretty early in the morning to get ahead of traffic. But and then going in at 10, I might be in right in the middle of so it might be kind of a crap drive both ways. But we'll find out. I'm just trying to be as available as I can be for the company at this point. I've just started, so I don't want to create a culture of not being available and not being flexible. So I'm going to do what I got to do. It's just going to benefit me later on in the process once I get my feet under me and be able to really get comfortable at it. I'm starting to get there now. So I got some good momentum going. I'm starting to understand the software programs they use. It's just, I got people I'm working with that have done this for 5 years already. So they're really good at what they do. And so I'm happy to have them to watch and learn from. Anyway, guys, I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you guys again so much for hanging in there with me with all these changes with the job and stuff. And I'll let you know. We'll try to keep you up to speed and let you know if I'm going to be able to continue doing live streams. Maybe you just have to switch off for an occasional weekend one or something like that. So just smash the like button, share, subscribe, and hit the bell. That's the best way to find out. And you guys, that way, if you don't see any messages from me, it'll tell you when I'm online. You guys can join in anytime. So talk to you soon, and we'll see you on the next one. Again, love you guys. Be good humans.